Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Resonance Hyderabad. I'm NJB, head of the Department of Physics, and I'm bringing to you the analysis of all the physics papers held so far in JEE Mains 2025. So total 6 papers are held so far, and the analysis of these papers are going to give you insight into the upcoming papers which are going to be held on 28th and 29th of January. So if you are going to write papers on 28th and 29th of January, this analysis is going to help you to prepare better for that in your last minute preparation. So let's get started with the physics paper analysis, and let's see the data that we have collected so far based on whatever information that we have collected so far. So we are going to do chapter wise analysis, how many questions were asked from each chapters and the nature of questions which were asked from them. So first we are going to start with the units and dimensions, and let's see what kind of questions were asked from units and dimensions. So total 6 questions were asked from units and dimensions, and if you look at 24th January paper, no questions were asked from units and dimensions, and so we can say that we have been quite consistent as far as this particular chapter is concerned, except these 2 papers, and very simple, very easy questions are asked from units and dimensions. All these questions belongs to easy category. Now the next is the errors in measurements. Total 3 questions are asked from errors in measurements, although it has been little bit disappointing because our predictions usually is that from errors in measurements or an average, every paper 1 question should appear. However, out of these 6 papers so far, only 3 questions we got from errors in measurements, and that too one of the question was from the difficult category and the remaining 2 questions were from the easy category. Why that question was from the difficult category? Because it involves finding the errors in the final results in a relation which is of non-standard type. So another question was to find error in the measurement of density, and one more question was related to vernier caliper, and surprisingly we did not get any question from screw gauge so far. Alright, so now let's talk about mathematical tools for physics. In mathematical tools for physics, we received just 1 question, and that was related to vectors only. So the dot product of 2 perpendicular vectors is 0. It was based on that concept. From rectilinear motion, surprisingly, we have got only 1 question so far, and that question was related to graph. That we have to find out the displacement and velocity time graph was given. So that was quite an easy problem. Even a 9th class student will be able to answer that. And after that, if you look at projectile motion, almost in every paper we get 1 question from projectile motion except the 24th January first shift paper. And in fact, even in that paper, there was a question from projectile motion. However, it was clubbed with the concept of angular momentum. So you can say that from projectile motion, we got 1 question in every paper, and therefore, this particular chapter, projectile motion, becomes extremely important as far as the upcoming papers are concerned. Now let's talk about relative motion. So students are very much scared of this particular chapter, relative motion, and you see no questions so far has been asked from relative motion. So this is one chapter from where no question has been asked so far. And apart from relative motion, if you look at Newton's laws of motion, only 1 question so far has been asked from Newton's laws of motion. And if you club Newton's laws of motion along with friction, total 1 question, no question from friction. So definitely NTA has disappointed Newton a little bit here. No question from Newton's laws so far. Alright, let's now move on to the next chapter, that is work, power and energy. So far, total 3 problems were asked from work, power and energy. So one of the problem was difficult because it involved calculation of work done by a non-conservative force, and the remaining 2 questions were of the easy category only. So work, power of energy, total 3 questions. Circular motion. From circular motion, we got total 4 questions. Most of the questions were of the easy nature. 1 question was from the banking of roads. We have to figure out what is the maximum velocity. 1 was related to the vertical circular motion. And one of the question was from the horizontal circular motion. There was a pipe in which liquid was filled into it. It was slightly difficult, I would say. So 4 questions from circular motion and from rigid body dynamics, which is the most interesting, most challenging chapter, and total number of questions from it is 7. Obviously, we expected more questions from rigid body dynamics. However, only 7 questions so far has been asked. But one very important thing that you should note over here, that one question from moment of inertia has been asked so far, and majority of the question which they are asking in from pure rolling. So people have this misconception, they think that pure rolling is not in the syllabus, but that is not the case. The simple cases of pure rolling only we have to do. So the entire combined translation and rotational motion we need not do. However, within that, pure rolling need to be done. So one question, 2 questions were related to pure rolling on the inclined plane. In one of the question, we have to figure out what is the velocity, and another question we have to figure out what is the acceleration. So different things that they have asked in the pure rolling. In one of the question, we have to identify of pure rolling what is the ratio of the translational to the rotational kinetic energy. So in rigid body dynamics, although it's a very challenging chapter, however, only easy questions so far has been asked from rigid body dynamics. All the questions from rigid body dynamics were from the easy category only. Alright, now let's talk about gravitation. Again, gravitation relatively is very small chapter, and from gravitation total 6 questions. So we can say that almost in every paper you will see at least 1 question on an average from gravitation, and most of the questions from gravitation were of the easy category only. Few questions related to using the principle of superposition, and some of the questions were related to acceleration due to gravity, that is a variation of acceleration due to gravity. And some of the question, one of the question as far as I remember was related to a simple pendulum. So they clubbed simple harmonic motion with gravitation. So directly from simple harmonic motion only 2 questions were asked, but simple harmonic motion was clubbed in other chapters. So if you count those questions also, the count must be somewhere around 4 to 5 questions from simple harmonic motion. Now let's talk about fluid mechanics. From fluid mechanics, total 3 questions have been asked so far. So except 1 question, I think 2 of the questions were of the easy category. One of the question was related to equation of continuity. One of the question was related to the oscillation of a block which is floating on the liquid. And then we have mechanical properties of matter. Within mechanical properties of matter, we have elasticity, viscosity, and surface tension. So some good questions were asked from this particular chapter. However, some of the questions were very much standard. For example, there is a question of double bubble. When one soap bubble, another soap bubble, they come together, it forms a double bubble. So what is the radius of curvature of the common surface? Apart from that, 2 questions were asked related to the terminal velocity concept, and a few other conceptual questions were asked from surface tension and viscosity. So total 6 questions. So usually we don't expect much question from these chapters. However, as you can see that again in this chapter consistently at least 1 question they are asking every paper. Now let's talk about thermal properties of matter. So in thermal properties of matter comes thermometry, calorimetry, and thermal expansion. So definitely this chapter has been little disappointing because it's an easy chapter. It's a very small chapter. However, if you look at the 6 papers so far, only 2 questions have been asked so far. So one of the question is related to thermometry, that is a relation between the Fahrenheit scale and the Kelvin scale, and another question was related to calorimetry, and both of these questions were extremely easy to answer. Now next then comes KTG and thermodynamics. So definitely KTG and thermodynamics has not disappointed us. Total 9 questions are asked from KTG and thermodynamics, and you will be surprised to see that almost all the questions belong to the easy category. So no difficult questions from KTG and thermodynamics. 2 questions were related to the PV graph. One of them was a cyclic process, and we have to figure out the heat rejected in that cycle, and 1 or 2 problems were related to only identifying the process, whether it is an isochoric process or isobaric process. Very simple, very basic. A person should be able to solve these questions in less than 1 minute from KTG and thermodynamics. So definitely this is one area where you need to continue focus on if you are targeting your next 4 upcoming papers. Now next is the heat transfer. So heat transfer constitutes conduction and radiation. So definitely from heat transfer only 3 questions so far has been asked, and 1 question was related to Newton's law of cooling. People think that Newton's laws of cooling is not in the syllabus, but that is not the case. 1 question in 24th January shift 2 was asked from Newton's laws of cooling, and apart from that, one question from conduction in this paper and another question from radiation was asked, and both of these questions belong to the easy category only. And then again, string wave has been disappointing. Only one question so far we have received from string wave, and in fact from string wave and sound wave combinedly, total 2 questions. So from sound wave, one question was related to the organ pipes, which was slightly difficult. You can call it moderate, because it was the language was very huge in that, although the question was the solution was not that difficult. And then in the string wave, the equation of the wave was given, and we just have to figure out in which direction the wave is going to propagate. So this is all about the analysis of the questions that we received so far in the 11th class chapters, and now we are going to do analysis from the 12th class chapters. Definitely we received more questions from 12th class, and let's look at the analysis of the 12th class chapters from electrostatics, which is a very giant, very mammoth chapter. We received total 10 questions, and consistently we are getting questions from electrostatics. So people again fear this chapter because of its size, because of the difficulty level. However, if you look at the nature of the questions which were asked from electrostatics, all the 10 questions belong to the easy category only. So NTA has given you an indication that even if the chapter is difficult, don't fear it. We're not going to ask you so difficult questions from them. So from electrostatics, all the 10 questions were from the easy category. Now current electricity, we had high hopes from current electricity, but you can see that only 5 questions were asked straight from current electricity. However, there were questions in capacitors, also there were questions in semiconductors, which was actually related to current electricity. So overall, if you want to look at the weightage of the current electricity, I think this should be somewhere around 10 to 11. So it will match up with the weightage of the electrostatics. So purely from current electrostatics, without capacitors, without diodes, you will have only 5 questions over there, but combinedly you will have somewhere around I guess 9 to 10 questions there. Now the questions from capacitor, as I already mentioned, not purely from capacitor, some of the questions were related to electricity as well. That means there was an electrical circuit in which capacitor was also part of it. So that is an RC circuit, and we have done all the concepts related to these RC circuits as well. Now next is magnetic effects of current. Now if you look at this magnetic effects of current, the distribution of the questions has not been very even. For example, if you look at the first paper, in the first paper no questions were asked, in the third paper, the fourth paper no questions were asked. However, if you look at the second paper, the fifth and the sixth one was a surprise, because in the sixth one total 4 questions were asked from magnetism. So most of the questions were easy only, very few questions were there which was of the moderate level, and maybe only 1 question was of the difficult nature in this category. So total 7 questions we got from magnetic effects of current. So definitely we did not get any question from Earth's magnetism, which was not the part of the syllabus also, and NTA has maintained it also. They did not ask any questions so far from Earth's magnetism. So if you want, you can leave that topic for the next upcoming papers. Now next is electromagnetic induction. Now this is little bit depressing, because electromagnetic induction is not a very small chapter. It takes time also to master this chapter. People put a lot of efforts into it, but despite that, you see only 3 questions are asked from electromagnetic induction. So definitely this has been little bit disappointing for those students who have prepared well in this chapter. Now the next is alternating current. Similarly, if you see in alternating current, only 3 questions were asked, but the good thing with alternating current is that relatively it is a small chapter. So usually I don't see these 2 chapters separately. I see electromagnetic induction and alternating current as a single chapter. So when you're looking these 2 chapters as a single chapter, then you can say that in this chapter total 6 questions were asked, and from alternating current all these 3 questions were extremely easy. One of the question where you have to figure out what is the RMS value of the current, and the equation of current was given. Two sinusoidal functions were there, superposition of that. And then in the remaining two questions, they were related to the concept of resonance. When the circuit is in the resonance condition, then you have to figure out few things into that. Now comes electromagnetic waves. We always expect questions from electromagnetic waves, but you can see that in 3 papers, you did not receive any questions from electromagnetic waves, and in the remaining 3, you got on an average at least 1 question from electromagnetic waves. And most of these questions from electromagnetic waves were of the easy category. I guess 2 questions were related to displacement current, and one of the question was related to electromagnetic spectrum. You need to know the order of the wavelengths of the electromagnetic spectrum in that particular question. Now let's come to ray optics. Now ray optics is the second highest in terms of number of questions asked. Total 13 questions were asked from ray optics. Now out of these 13 questions, if you look at the difficulty level, I would say that 30% of the questions were of the difficult nature and remaining were moderate and easy. So definitely more difficult questions were asked from ray optics, which has 12 questions, not 13 questions. We got 13 questions from atomic physics, in fact. So definitely atomic physics has been the high weightage or highest weightage chapter so far. And not just that, the number of questions are maximum from atomic physics. Also, if you look at the percentage of easy problems asked, it's going to be very, very high. Most of the questions you will see, the majority of the questions were asked from Bohr's model, simple transition based question, and the radius of the nth orbit and so on. Apart from that, few questions you will find from photoelectric effect as well. For example, in the last paper, there was one problem from photoelectric effect where you have to find, it was based on number of photons emitted per unit time from a source. And apart from that, only one question was related to X-rays. Many people have a tendency to leave X-rays, but only one question so far we have received from X-rays. Remaining were from Bohr's model and photoelectric effect. And now let's move on to the nuclear physics. Definitely nuclear physics has been a little bit depressing over here, those who have prepared nuclear physics properly, because so far in the 6 papers, we have received only 2 questions from nuclear physics. And one of the question was related to radioactivity as well. So many people thought that it is not in the syllabus. So definitely we got 1 question from radioactivity, and nobody can do anything about that. And then from semiconductors, if you look at this problem from semiconductors, all the 5 problems from semiconductors that we have got so far were of the easy category. So in some of the questions, there were diodes, and we just have to identify whether the diode is in the forward bias condition or reverse bias condition. And in some of the questions, they were connected with electricity. So maybe you can call those questions of the medium category, but again, in that case, you just have to apply the concept that if the diode is in the forward bias condition, then we can treat it as a short circuit, and you can solve for the unknown quantities that they are asking in that particular circuit. And apart from that, few questions were related to logic gates, which were extremely easy. Now we are going to look at the overall difficulty level of the total questions that we have received so far. So total questions that we have got so far is 142. However, we could not get few questions. For example, in this particular shift, we have no information about 2 missing questions and 1 missing question from here, about 5 missing questions from here. So based on the information that we have received so far, total 142 questions we had, and out of those 142 questions, total 93 questions were of the easy category. So definitely the easy questions dominated in all these papers, and the moderate level problems were 34 only, and the difficult level problems were 15 only. So those who have prepared well for JEE Mains and Advanced, even those 15 problems were not difficult. So the difficulty level, if you want to label it, then we can say that the difficulty level, the NTA has maintained it what it was doing in the past 3 years, and in fact, if you want to match it exactly, it will match it with the difficulty level of 2023. So that was the analysis of the difficulty level, and now I am going to give you the broad analysis of the number of questions asked from which unit. So I have divided the entire physics into about 6 to 7 units. So in one of the unit, that is units and measurements, total 9 questions are asked. It's a very small unit. I think among all of these, this is the smallest unit. So this is the smallest unit, 9 questions being asked. That means we can say that this is the most efficient unit so far. Apart from that, from mechanics 1, 23 questions, from mechanics 2 starts post RBD and it goes till mechanical properties of matter. And after that, from waves, heat and thermodynamics, total 16 questions. Electricity and magnetism, definitely most number of questions are asked. However, at the same time, we should know that the size of this unit itself is very big. It's a huge unit, so it's obvious that more number of questions are expected from this particular unit. And after that, if you look at optics, in optics we have ray optics and wave optics only. So relatively this is also a very small unit. Total 19 questions were asked from this unit. However, you will find some questions from optics, that is geometrical optics, which are of the difficult nature. And then lastly, we have modern physics, and modern physics, as people say, is the most scoring, and it remains the most scoring also. Why? Because total 20 questions, and the size of this unit is also not that big. It's very small. Hardly it takes 2 to 3 weeks to master this particular unit. So within 2 to 3 weeks, you can grab marks. Total 20 questions are asked basically from that particular unit. So again, I would say the most efficient is units and measurement, and after units and measurement, I would go for modern physics, and after modern physics, I would go for optics, and then maybe one can go for heat and thermodynamics, and then mechanics collectively, and then after that electricity and magnetism. So that should be the order in which I am going to rate as far as the efficiency is concerned. All right. Now, finally, if you want to see the divide between the 11th class and 12th class, how many questions were asked from 12th class? Total 77 questions asked from 12th class. And one may think that 12th class is important, more important than 11th class, but that is not the case. Because whatever topics that you study in the 12th class, it is based on 11th class only. So you cannot study 12th class independent of 11th class. So this analysis itself doesn't make much sense, but just for a perspective, you should know that from 11th class alone, 65 questions were asked, and from 12th class, 77 questions are asked. So that means if you are, let's say, just an 11th class student right now who is going to write your JEE paper next year, definitely these many questions you will be able to attempt now. So that's all. This is the analysis of the physics paper. For other papers, I'm going to invite my other colleagues, MVK sir, who will talk about chemistry next. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So hello students, good afternoon. So today we will be discussing all the test papers which were conducted till now, that is from 22nd, 23rd and 24th, 6 shifts were there, morning and afternoon together. So in all these shifts in chemistry paper, how the questions were asked, in which areas they have focused more, where they did not give the questions, and from which concepts, from which chapters you have to give more focus, the students who are yet to give the exam, right, on 28th and 29th, right. So let's get into the topic. So if you see here, first I have taken, I am trying to show you what is the weightage based on the difficulty level, like easy, medium and difficult, right. So, and one point you have to understand here, how did we classify this into easy, medium and difficult? This is because with respect to that person, if he feels it may be easy, but the student may feel it medium or difficult level. But actually what we have done is, we discussed among the faculties, the subject experts, and came to the conclusion based on different parameters. So it is not only the concept difficulty, it is also the time taken, it is also the number of steps required in reaching to the answer, in getting to the answer, and what way the question is formatted. Is any twisting is given, or confusion will be created in the question paper, in the question lines, right. So in different ways we have discussed and came to the conclusion. And if you see in the morning shift, 22nd first shift, morning shift, there were 13 questions of easy level, right, 10 questions were of a medium level, and only 2 questions were of difficult level, right. And in the afternoon shift, same 13 questions were there in the easy level. This is in similar, like a first shift, second shift, both were matching in the level of the paper, and we did not get questions for all the entire test papers. We did not get that. That is roughly 22 questions only. 3 more questions are there, and we believe that they may be from easy, from moderate or difficult level, right. And coming to 23rd first shift, 12 questions came from easy level, and 8 from medium level, and 4 from difficult level. And coming to 23rd shift also, more or less 11 questions we got from easy level, then 7 from moderate, and 2 only from the difficult level. And coming to 24th morning shift, 10 questions from easy level, then 10 questions from medium, moderate level, and 5 questions came from difficult level. So, and coming to 24th, 9 questions came to whatever the memory based questions we have collected from the students. 9 from the easy level, 8 from the moderate level, and 2 from the difficult level, right. So if you analyze, observe in all these things, right, you can understand 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, but here 5 questions came from difficult level and 10 questions came from moderate level, just 10 only questions came from easy level, right. So in this manner, and in the second shift there were, the question paper was very comfortable, so we believe that the remaining questions from this 6 questions, they are also from the easy or moderate level, but there were no difficult questions in the yesterday's evening shift, right. So this was the shift with the highest difficulty in all the papers conducted till now, right. And overall also, if you see, from among the total number of questions we have got, 68 questions came from the easy level, 48 questions came from the medium level, and 19 questions came from the difficult level. Difficult doesn't mean that they are very difficult, that you cannot touch the question. Difficulty is with respect to multiple steps, then calculation involved, then multiple group of reagents asked, then time taken, then concept difficulty. All together we are classifying them into difficult level, right. So hope you have understood, have a broad idea. Any paper you consider, definitely 10 questions, 10 or more are coming from the easy level, right. So 10 or more questions are coming from the easy level, means these are the 10 to 12 questions, everybody should able to do it. So our preparation also should be in the similar manner, right. Then coming to class wise, how did they balance the syllabus between 11th and 12th standards? That also let us have some idea. First shift of 22nd, 14 questions came from 11th standard and 11 questions came from 12th standard. And in the second shift, 13 questions came from 11th, 9 only from the 12th standard. But still, some more questions are yet to be collected, right? And 11 questions from 11th standard, inter first year, and 13 from the second year, right? And 9 from the first year, 11 from the second year, and 10 from the first year, 14 from the second year, 9 from the first year, 10 from the second year, right? So if you see here, there is no much difference here. Overall 25 questions are there. So if you perfectly divide them, 12 and a half, which is not possible, so 12 and 13. So from 12 and 13, even one question also shifts to another side, it will become 11 and 14 or 10 and 15, right? So from every year, first year and second year, minimum 10, 11 questions are definitely possible, right? Na? So this is one idea, and average also you can get the proof from the average here that 66 questions came from the 11th standard, then 68 questions came from the 12th standard, almost equal, right? Na? So the weightage or the importance between 11th and 12th standard can be almost same, you can say, right? And then coming to, as we know, chemistry has 3 sub branches: physical, organic and inorganic chemistries. Then how many questions came from every subject of chemistry? But believe me or not, if you see the test papers, you will understand this time the chemistry paper was dominated by organic chemistry questions. Not only by number of questions, but also based on the difficulty level also. So this one point many of the students have to take care, have to understand this point. Organic chemistry was given more weightage in comparison to physical and inorganic chemistry. So understand this point and revise your short notes accordingly. All the reagents which are in NCERT should be listed, and their functions, what type of reactions, conversions they do, that all has to be revised today, tomorrow, right? So very important. And day after tomorrow, right? Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 3 days you are having the time to revise the short notes, right? So if you see 22nd first shift from physical chemistry and inorganic chemistry, the number of questions were equal and only 3 questions came from organic chemistry. And you see here, this is not total 25. It is only from the 11th physical, 11th inorganic and 11th organic. Understanding, na? So in 11th standard, organic chemistry chapters are lesser. Only 2 chapters are there, na? One is some basic principles and techniques in organic compounds. Second is hydrocarbons. That is why you see that the number of questions are lesser. But if you see the next slide, in which 12 standard chapters are there the spiking up of organic chemistry can be clearly seen, right? And in a second shift, physical and inorganic, equal number of questions, organic 4 only came. And 23rd morning shift, 6 and 6, 4 only from the organic chemistry. 23rd afternoon shift, 6 and 6 and 2 from organic chemistry. And from 24th first shift, 4 and 4 from physical and inorganic, and 5 questions came from organic chemistry. This was the shift in which a major focus was there on GOC, general organic chemistry. So many questions they have asked about carbanion stability, carbocation stability, aromaticity, then isomerism, different concepts they have asked from GOC chapter in this shift, and they were also of tricky, so that the question paper went to the difficult side, right? 24th second shift, again physical and inorganic are of equal number, 4 and 4, and organic we got only 3 questions. Now you see the 12th standard portion, in which the portion also will be dominated by organic chemistry in 12th. You can see here how the questions came in organic chemistry. The green bar is indicating organic chemistry, right? So you can see everywhere, right? 5 questions here. Then in the second shift, 4 questions came. Third shift, 23rd morning shift, 5 questions came. Afternoon shift, 5 questions came. And then the 24th morning shift, 7 questions came. And in the same shift, in the 11th standard you see 5 questions are there, and from the 12th standard you got 7 questions. That means alone from organic chemistry 5 plus 7, 12 questions came out of 25 questions. You can see how much they have given the portion from organic chemistry. So as from the last year, the syllabus was reduced, but the syllabus reduction was from inorganic chemistry. So whatever the gap was created, the lacune was created, that they are trying to fill with organic chemistry. Therefore, more number of questions are coming from organic side. So that point you have to take care. And even in the 24th second shift, that is yesterday's evening shift also, you can see the large number of questions coming from organic part, right? And then coming to chapter wise, in 11th standard, from which chapter how many questions came from organic, inorganic and physical, you can see here, these bars will indicate first shift, second shift, third shift, fourth shift and fifth shift, and these all together total from some basic concepts of chemistry, you got 9 questions. Here the small bars are 5 only are there. That indicates that in one of the shift there was no question asked, right? In 5 of the shifts the questions were asked. In one shift from this chapter the question was not asked, right? And altogether we got 9 questions from this chapter, and then from atomic structure 7 questions we got, from thermodynamics 8 questions altogether, then from chemical and ionic equilibrium 9 questions we got, then redox reactions 1, 2, right? Altogether this is no, from redox reaction only 1 question was there. To what I understand, the redox reactions only 1 question came. That question also I will say, you see, they have given chlorine oxyanions, right? OCl minus, ClO2 minus, ClO3 minus and ClO4 minus, and simply they were asking which of these anions cannot undergo disproportionation reaction. We know that anion in which the central atom is in the highest or lowest oxidation state cannot undergo disproportionation. Both oxidation and reduction will not be possible. Only for the intermediate oxidation states, going up and coming down will be possible. So that was the only question that came from inorganic, from redox reactions. Then from periodic table, we got a total 1 plus 4 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. One time in one of the shift 4 questions came, right? In one of the shift directly from periodic table, that too from all the periodic properties we have discussed in the class from the reso material itself. Many of the questions have come, right, in the same format. Then coming to chemical bonding, the number of questions asked from chemical bonding were surprisingly lesser this time, because more weightage has gone to organic chemistry, right? Total 4 questions only came. And then you can see from the GOC chapter, from some basic principles and techniques in organic compounds, total till now from 6 shifts we got 15 questions. That means on an average also 2.5 questions came. More than 2 questions came in every shift from this single chapter. And also the surprising point from this is these many questions came, but still all these questions are to the NCERT level and exercise 1 from our resonance material. So therefore, if anybody have done these 2 sources, solved these 2 sources, definitely all questions, 2 out of 2 or 3 out of 3, whatever questions have come, you will be able to do. And then from hydrocarbons also 6 questions came. And here one point I have to share, whatever the questions came from organic chemistry, right, they are all, if they are reaction related, they are all came as interrelated questions. They are not particularly from hydrocarbons, they are not particularly from alkyl halide, and also from alcohol, right? From 4 chapters interlinking, like 3-4 reagents together they have given that the group of reagents, all reagents functions, we should know it. So that became the challenge, another difficulty for organic chemistry. Question by seeing, it feels like it is easy, but the student should know the function of each and every reagent asked, right? Like the 3-4 reagents were there in every question. So that was the difficulty. And then coming to 12 standard chapters, first chapter solutions, 4 questions they have asked. And in these 4 questions also, one of the question was on concentration terms only. They have given molarity and they asked molality by giving a density also, right? And another 3 questions were based on colligative properties. One was on relative lowering of vapor pressure and 2 came from the depression in freezing point. So very simple questions, and chapter is also very beautiful. Everybody can prepare this chapter, revise this and can do. And from chemical kinetics, 4 questions came all together. All together to see the number of questions came from chemical kinetics also lesser, and if you see, mostly they have focused on rate of reaction, 2 questions, zero order reaction 1 question, first order reaction 1 question. These are the 4 questions they asked from chemical kinetics. And then from electrochemistry, the chapter is very challenging, very interesting and heavy chapter, but still they did not ask much from the numericals, nor even from the Faraday's laws also. They asked from the introduction part, and also asked from 1 question came from corrosion, right? And only I think 1 question came for cell potential calculation, right? Then P block elements, and here one thing you have to understand, the P block elements here are from 13th to 18th. We did not classify them as 11th P block and 12th P block, 13th to 18th altogether. And believe me, if anybody have studied or read NCERT textbook, only they have asked for the physical properties. The tables in each and every group we will be having, like atomic number, atomic size, ionic size, ionization energy, first, second, third, then density, melting point, boiling point. These were the physical properties they have asked, right? So strictly go through NCERT for these questions. Every shift got at least 1 question from this P block elements, right now. Then coming to D block. D block is also one of the chapter which came in almost all the shifts. That too they asked again on the physical properties. Particularly they asked on oxidation state, then electronic configuration, then color property of different metal cations, right? So be careful of revising these points whatever I have told about D and F block elements. Then coming to coordination compounds, this time we felt that the weightage to be given to the coordination compound, that much is not justified till the shifts completed, right? 4 more shifts are there. We have to see how many questions will come, but to now there was no single shift where coordination compounds question was missed. Every shift the question came, and 2 questions came. We were expecting that here also 2 questions will come from coordination compound, because that is that much important, as inorganic chemistry blocks were eliminated, right now. Then coming to haloalkanes and haloarenes, also 11 questions are there. Actually this is not independent questions, they are interlinked questions. As already I told you, they are linked with alcohols, they are linked with hydrocarbons also on both the sides, right? So that point we have to understand. Then from alcohols, phenols, personally I feel that the number of questions given are very less, right? And another point I forgot to tell you, in haloalkanes and haloarenes, majoritarily they have focused the reactions around SN1 and SN2 reactions, right? So just to revise, what are SN1 and SN2 reactions, what are their conditions, what type of compounds will undergo this reaction, and if one particular compound is given, how can you judge whether it will undergo SN1 or SN2 reaction? All these points are very clearly they were focusing, they were trying to trying to ask from take from your side, right now. Then aldehydes, ketones and carboxylic acids and its derivatives, 6 questions came, and here from every shift at least 1 question came. One of the question was a previous year question only, that was a mix of aldol and Cannizzaro reaction, but only difference was that along with acetaldehyde, formaldehyde, the reaction was there. This time they have given with propanaldehyde and formaldehyde, right? So first aldol to happen, then Cannizzaro to happen. That question is also as it is there in our resonance material, right? So next is nitrogen containing compounds. Every shift at least 1 question came from nitrogen containing compounds, especially diazotization reaction. All nitrogen containing compounds reaction, it was like a mandatory by default diazotization step was there. After diazotization, whether they were doing Sandmeyer reaction or Gatterman reaction or azo dye test, like different tests they were doing, reaction they were doing. And then biomolecules is also one interesting chapter. You can see here 6 shifts, 6 times, 6 1 question has come. That means every shift 1 question, every shift 1 question has come. So total till now 6 shifts are there, 6 questions have come. And that too, what type of questions came from biomolecules is on par. That means overall from every part of the chapter they are trying to ask. Till now what they have asked is from biomolecules, fructose related they have asked. Then they have asked from nucleic acid, that is a DNA structure, nitrogenous bases they have asked. Then protein structure they have asked. Like from different parts of biomolecules, they are definitely asking the question. So simple chapter, so easy to catch that 1 question, right? So this is what the overall summary, whatever I have given. So for your reference, we have made this one. You can take it as a pause, the video, and can take the screenshot and try to understand it, take the printout and try to understand how we have accumulated all the information which will be helpful for you for the next upcoming sessions for you, right? So this is all from my side, chemistry analysis. And now so this is all from chemistry analysis. I hope that the information I have shared with you will be helpful for not only the students who are going to give the 28th and 29th shift, but also the 11th standard students. So I refer you very strongly, by solving all these papers, I can understand and refer you very strongly that referring or studying NCERT textbook is very important, and solving the exercise 1 and level 1 DPP from our resume material, right? So all the best. And now I request our math sir to continue with analysis from math subject, right?
Hi everyone, myself Vivek Kumar, Mathematics faculty at the Resonance. Today we are going to analyze all the 6 shift question, which portion majority of question came, and how many question came from the 11th class and 12th class. And most important thing I am going to be talk, what to do, what not to do, how to crack IIT-JEE for the 28th and 29th shift. So first of all, we are going to do the analysis part. So we can see the analysis part is here. How many question came from the algebra part? How many question came from the algebra part? So we are seeing majority of the question algebra and calculus is there. So we can find here, because the paper is the memory based, so we can find here 48 to 54 question. So you can see around 8 to 9 question, every paper is from the algebra only. Same way once we can see the calculus also similar way only we can find. 8 to 9 question are there. Once we can see after the trigonometry, so trigonometry it is there 8 to 12 question. 8 to 12 question we can say, around the 1 to 2 question are there. Some paper we can find the 1 question, some of the paper we can find the 2 question. Come to the coordinate geometry. So coordinate geometry we can find here. Around the question are there, every paper 3 to 4 is there. Here the question, number of question is there 8 to 9. Here again we can find 8 to 9. Trigonometry 1 to 2 question we can find. Coordinate geometry we can find here 3 to 4. Vector and 3D again 2 to 3 question is there. Maybe we can expect in the next examination maybe 3 to 4 also possibility are there. So like that we can find algebra, calculus, trigo, coordinate and the vector 3D. So these all are the what the weightage are there. So this number of question. So for the cracking IIT-JEE, obviously you have to be concentrate more on the algebra and the calculus, but we should not neglect this part also, because vector and 3D somewhat easy question are there, trigo also easy question are there. Coordinate geometry, as I feel, question is not the conceptual I can say difficult, but the lengthy calculation is there in this part. Now we can see how many questions came from the 11th and from the 12th. Almost we have seen equal number of questions are there. Maybe the 1-2 question are the difference from the 11 to 12. So we can find all the 6 paper, minimum 66 to 72 question are there from the 11th class. Once we can come to the 12th class, this question are there from 78 to 84 is there. That means you have to be balance both the things, as well as 11th, similar way the 12th also you have to be see. Now we can see easy, moderate and the difficult level. Obviously so many students feel the mathematics are the difficult. Yes, paper are the difficult, paper is the moderate to lengthy paper is there if we are going to be compared with the physics and chemistry. So obviously maths paper are the difficult than the physics and chemistry, but not like that the paper we are not able to be solve the question. Here you can see every paper we can find 10 question, 9 to 10 question is there, our easy question. So we have to be capture those part only, as the paper is there. Even you are going to be solve around 10 to 11 question from here. Even the only easy question you are going to be capture means 10 to 11 question are the correct, means you can reach 40 to 44. We are going to be reach nearest to the 99 percentile. Even the physics chemistry more marks, then you can get the 99 percentile. So if the paper are difficult, then you can understand less marks also, your percentile is the mode. So here we can find in the all the 6 paper conclusion, 50 to 60 question the easy, moderate level is there, again in the same 50 to 60. As we generally suggest the student, 5 to 6 question will come into the every paper. Those question are going to be trap you. That means the lengthy part is there. If you can go to the calculation, it will take some time. Now the things are there. This is the analysis part. What we have to do for the 28th and 29th who didn't write the examination till now. For those students, concentrate here right now. What you have to do for the coming examination. What we find here, if the vector and 3D topic we can see, so shortest distance is Q line, every paper, related question are there. Some paper what we can see here, कि 2 line is there, we have to be find the line which is the perpendicular to the both the line, and they given the 4 point, we have to be check this which point is on this line. So like that question also we can expect. Perpendicular distance concept, concept from not from the plane, from the Cartesian equation if it is there in this format. So from any point P is there, alpha, beta, gamma. So this distance, like that question also are the important. In the one of the question, what they ask, from this one we can draw the triangle. this length is given, then we have to be find the area. Once you know this concept only, you can easily solve the sum. Come to the trigonometry. In the trigonometry, what we have seen, in every paper almost inverse trigonometry sum is coming, and all the sum from the basic formula. Basic formula just like a tan inverse x plus tan inverse y, sin inverse x plus sin inverse y. Like that basic formula also you have keep in your mind. Yeah, you can remember, you are easily going to be solve the things. And trigonometry, another question is, sometime we feel it came from the multiple, sum multiple. Sometimes it is come from the trigonometrical equation also. But one question are the fixed here, that is from the inverse trigonometry. So my suggestion is there, inverse trigonometry, give more focus, other part only see the formulas. Come to the differential equation. Differential equation, always the linear equation is the hot topic. Always it is coming. You can say in the examination, 70% chances are there ki again 28th and 29th linear equation type of question is going to be repeat. Yeah, otherwise homogeneous also you can see. Because already here we are seeing the 6 section, na? They ask from the linear equation. So maybe chances are there from the homogeneous equation also. But don't neglect the linear equation. Must see the linear equation also here. Now we can come to the matrix and determinant. Matrix and determinant, all the shift question came from the adjoint property. So must be you have to be see the adjoint property, but as I am thinking ki maybe 28, 29 they are going to be change something. So that means what you should do, note down this thing. Adjoint, apart from the adjoint, inverse property also you can see. Symmetric, skew symmetric, this all the property, trace, this all the property also you can go through. Because I am thinking maybe already from the adjoint property they can ask a question. So maybe 28, 29 they are going to be change this pattern. So adjoint we should not be neglect, but the inverse, skew line, symmetric line, this all the property also must be we have to be see. And one is the easy part is there, system and the linear homogeneous and non-homogeneous type of the question. This time, 2 times came the infinite solution, then we have to find the lambda and mu value, 1 time came from the no solution. Maybe I am expecting the next coming, 28, 29, maybe it will come, same thing only, consistency, inconsistency. Trivial solution, non-trivial solution, like that thing also they can ask in an examination. So must we go through those all the concept. All of you IIT aspirant, you can note down this all the things, whatever the term I am going to say to you. Because those term only you can focus, because I have taken in this the PPT, whatever the easiest part are there, which is the difficult I am not taking here. So those easiest parts also you are going to be covered, easily you are going to be cross the 40 to 50 marks. In the mathematics, if you are going to be cross 40 to 50, that means it is going to be 99 percentile. So this part we have to be see. Again, permutation combination. Generally we are always suggesting the student, permutation on combination, lengthy calculation will come. But what we are finding this 6 paper, permutation and combination not coming lengthy. 2 paper directly they ask 4 girls, 5 boys is there, all the boys are together, yeah, all the girls are together, yeah, 2 particular boys are together, how many way we are going to be arranged? Already in the resonance sheet several times you did the practice. So just those type of question again you can see. As I am expecting again in the 28, 29 question will come easy only from the permutation combination. You have to be keep the patience and calculation. Then you can avoid it with the 4 marks. That's why you can, I mention here the basic arrangement type of question is coming, not coming difficult type of the question. Now, binomial theorem coefficient type of the sum. Whether you can go to the binomial multinomial theorem, yeah, otherwise any expansion x square, x to the power 3, like that coefficient how we are going to be find. Just concentrate on that one. By the way, 2 to 3 times came, so I am also expecting कि maybe divisibility concept question are there, na? Like that this model. 5 to the power 705. If it is divided by 7, what is the remainder will come? So I am expecting like that model also chances are there. So must be we should not be neglect the coefficient sum, and same time we have to be concentrate the divisibility type sum also, because that is also the important for your examination. Very good thing, set and relation also almost every paper question came. So not from the set, from the relation. Relation is only the 4. What the reflexive, symmetric, transitive, equivalence. So number of equivalence relation type of the question are the important. Generally they won't give the mode number. They will ask like that only. 1, 2, 3, how many number of equivalence relation are the maximum number of equivalence relation are the possible? Yeah, maybe the 4 element they will give you. So this type of particular model, if you can observe, I am discussing with you particular things. From here only the question possibility is there, it will come. So whatever that this around the 9 to 10 point is there, only 9 to 10 point even you are going to be keep in your mind, you can revise. Then 7, 8 point definitely question will come in your examination. Now you can see conic section part. Circle question is coming. We can't say very difficult, but the length is there. So that's why I'm not keeping here the circle part. But the circle also every shift question are coming. If you are very much comfortable in the circle, must be again practice the circle. But here I am suggesting the conic section, only see the formulas. What is the latus rectum, what is the double ordinate, how to find the focus, how to find the vertex. This all the things means only see formula and the standard form. If you are thorough through the formulas and the standard form, definitely you are going to be solve the question from this one, as the pattern follow from the last 6 shift examination. So overall, my suggestion is this only to all of you. I'm not going to say more part. This part, again, you can try to be solve the question in your the resonance sheet, yeah, any one of the sheet. Apart from that, if you want to do more work on that one, so the 6 shift paper are there. Those 6 shift paper you can take, do the practice well, be confident, go through this topic. Easily you are going to be achieve your the target. So this is my suggestion to all of you. So all the best for your the 28th and 29th examination. We will see you soon again on that day.